601-995-1059. So what were you thinking?
Well, I'm just thinking you said round here. Because at my
Round
house.
here.
Yeah.
This poor guy can't sing. The poor guy is a millionaire, quote-unquote, musician, can't sing.
Adam, you're not an Adam Duritz fan, are you?
Well, I'm sure he's a wonderful person.
Yeah, probably. Is.
And just, somebody's singing ability or not has nothing to do with whether or not I like them or we could be buddies.
Right.
I mean, turn that up right there for a little bit. Turn it
right
up.
Here.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. There we go. All right. So around here,
She talks like lions, and we laugh just lambs. Sacrifice like lambs. That's kind of biblical,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's sort of. It could be taken that way. I wonder
Around
if it
here,
was.
she talks like lions, and we sacrifice like lambs.
Was it meant biblically, or did it just?
I don't know. See, that's where I always try to err on the side of what I think is the most positive.
Mm-hmm. When we don't know for sure.
Right.
I got you.
Because and not many songwriters are gonna give you the complete reason behind the lyrics.
Mm-hmm. I am of the impression that a lot of songs there ain't no reason behind some of the lyrics. It's just does it rhyme? Does it sound cool? Yeah, that's my thing. All right, the song you just played.
Yeah.
Louvier on the text line says that's his karaoke jam. So whenever he goes to karaoke, that's what Louvier sings right there.
All right. Well, I want to know next time he goes to karaoke because I want to be there.
I do too. You know what he's saying basically? Is if you can't sing, pick a song for karaoke where the original also can't sing. That's what he's saying.
Pretty good, Matt Wyatt.
That's what he's saying about that right there.
Well, it's Friday, right?
It's Friday.
Free for all Friday.
It's a free for all.
Right, and Louvier is a big Fred Nugget, a.k.a. Ted Nugent fan.
Okay.
So, yeah, maybe we may have to get Louvier in the studio here and let him do some karaoke.
Let him sing.
Yeah.
Let her rip. That's what I'm saying. I mean, if a little audience for karaoke is good, then a big audience for karaoke would be great, wouldn't it?
Oh, it'd be, as you would say, epic.
I'm going to reveal something here. I'm going to reveal something about myself. Don't go to karaoke stuff. Hardly. I don't think I really ever have. The most recent opportunity for a karaoke thing was 2 Christmases ago. Might have been last Christmas. It was a Christmas party down the street. Some people had people over their house. It was like, grown-ups wearing ugly Christmas sweaters. And that thing busted out in a karaoke deal. The deal was, though, we had a babysitter taking care of our daughter where Annabeth and I could go. It was just down the street, a few houses down. We had someone here taking care of Mary Lydia while we were gone, and she needed to be relieved. The babysitter had to go. And so I said, Annabeth, listen, you stay here. I'm going home. And here's the thing. I like all the people there. I like them all. Right. All of them. I like them. But I'm not there to hang out with a karaoke bunch. And I ain't going to do it.
The word on the street is you have a good voice.
Well, it is for praising the Lord, and that's it. See, my voice in terms of singing voice, I can't stand performing. It is not in my blood to perform musically. Right. It just ain't in it. Okay. And yes, the Lord blessed me with a singing voice. The last time I sang something kind of sort of publicly was at Rob and Lana's wedding in Vicksburg, probably 10 years ago. I sang at their wedding.
What'd you sing?
Oh, gosh, what did I sing?
Oh, come on, man.
Hang on. I Will Be Here.
Yeah, Stephen Curtis Chapman.
That was it.
Yeah.
Sang that in their wedding.
Look at you, man.
That's it, though.
I mean, got another notch in my belt. Man.
Yeah, but the whole I'm going to stand up and perform for you. No, I'm not doing it. Not going to do it. Okay, so it has nothing to do with ability to sing. Okay, I ain't doing it. Well, word on our street was that Christmas party busted out in a karaoke deal, And turns out I was really glad I wasn't there. Based on some of the people that I was told which choices they made. Prior to that, either last Christmas or the Christmas before, it's the only time in my life that I have ever been like out at a place where karaoke was going on and I participated. It was prior to the 1998 Cotton Bowl. We were in Dallas the week of the Cotton Bowl. I was a junior in college. And one of those nights we wound up at some, you know what I'm talking, like a night place, bar, karaoke place, bunch of players, us, and a bunch of other people, you know, associated with the team. And Coach Sherrill's daughter, Bonnie, and I teamed up on Heard It Through the Grapevine. Our very own version of Heard It Through the Grapevine and that karaoke thing. And that's it. That's the only time in my life I've ever stood up and let her rip at a karaoke deal. Only time. And so I'm thinking if I were going to make a choice, you know, as far as a song to sing karaoke, that's a good one. That's a pretty good one. Where are we? Who is this? What day? Who am I?
It's a free-for-all Friday.
It's a free-for-all Friday on the show. All right, let's see here. Peanut Butter Falcon. No, that was earlier. Green Okra. Country Please and text 885 ESPN. It says, can Ole Miss beat South Carolina? Can they win out? Oh, yeah. I mean, can they beat South Carolina? For sure they can. South Carolina, I think they're different from Ole Miss, and one key aspect is Ole Miss is pretty consistent. Outside of the Arkansas game where they turned it over, I mean, every week you kind of know who Ole Miss is, right? They're going to put all kinds of pressure on you with their offense. Like their offense is good. They are multiple. They can run. They can throw. They line up in 85 different formations. They trick you before they even snap it. And they're going to run the offense well. They're going to do it fast. They're going to execute. So you know what you're getting from their offense. But they're consistent on defense, too. You know that they can't stop you defensively. They're just not going to stop. They're going to give up a lot of points on defense and do it every week. So they kind of are who they are. For South Carolina, you don't know. You just don't know. I mean, you could get South Carolina that steps out there and goes toe-to-toe with Auburn physically. And I know Auburn's not gangbusters, but still. Or it could be the South Carolina that doesn't even show up against LSU. Just didn't even get out of the bus against LSU. I mean, they're not consistent. That's what. So, I mean, you would probably bet on the consistency, right? And if you look at Ole Miss, you say, can they win out? They're probably not beating Texas A&M, okay? I mean, they'll score a little bit against A&M, but A&M's really good on the line of scrimmage, better than we thought they would be. And A&M's offense, they too are multiple, but they are physical and they can run the ball. Ole Miss has the worst run defense in the SEC, and it'll be at A&M if it happens. So, you know, that's the one that they'll probably get. I think Ole Miss, right now, if you line them up and play, you'd expect them to beat State, I think. Just, you know, State has had another opt-out. Marcus Murphy, starting safety, said yesterday that he's opting out. State has got more first-year starters than anybody else in the FBS. Their numbers are really low. If they were to play right now, you know, and it's going to be in Oxford for the Egg Bowl, you'd give Ole Miss the advantage in that. So, yeah, they can win that one. And then at LSU, yeah, they can win that one too. I mean, I think because of Ole Miss's defense, none of it's a given. But can they? Yeah, sure. They can beat South Carolina. They beat those other two. They're going to have a hard time with Texas A&M, though. I think it's the matchup also does not favor. It is the third round of the MAIS. Okay, got it. We're going to talk about some of the high school games coming up. Bobby on the text line says, so, Matt, you're saying you took the Chris Brooks approach for show prep. Well, I don't know what his approach is for show prep. Hey, JB, I tell you what, and Bobby, I do know this, that Brooks and them were today talking about boneless wings and
boneless chickens.
And boneless chickens. And here's the thing about that. I can sum that whole argument. It's not even an argument. There is no argument about boneless wings. Hold on. Let me take a sip of coffee from High Point Roasters. Hang on. Here's the thing about boneless wings. Here's what you need to know. Number one, if it doesn't have bones, it's not a wing.
Here we go.
Let me repeat this. Let me say it in another way. If it doesn't have bones in it, it's not a wing. It's a flap. F-L-A-P. Now, feel free to go out here and order some barbecue slathered chicken flap, but it's not a wing. Nothing against anybody who serves them at all. Nothing against anybody who likes eating them. Eat what you want to eat. Doesn't bother me one bit. I'm just saying you can't fool me. You can call it a wing all you want to. That's like giving me something that has no meat whatsoever. No meat. It's all veggie, and calling it a hamburger. It ain't a hamburger. You can call it that if you want to, but you're not fooling me, is what I'm saying. You are not fooling me. Okay? It's not a burger. It ain't got no meat in it.
What about a turkey burger? I've always wondered that.
All right.
Can you have a turkey burger?
Okay, they're not calling it a hamburger. They're calling it a turkey burger. They're basically telling me what's in it. Turkey burger.
So would that not be a turkey sandwich?
It's a turkey sandwich. That's what I'm saying. But it's sort of fashioned into a burger. I'll eat it. Yeah. I like turkey. But don't tell me that these are chicken wings, but they don't have bones. All right, where'd the bones go? How'd you get the bones out? Why have you taken out the bones? See, I have more questions than you can answer to convince me to eat the suckers.
So you're saying you don't eat boneless chicken?
I ain't touching it. Because
really?
Tell me this.
You don't touch chicken strips?
JB, no. Let's look at reality.
Okay.
Chicken strips come from what? The chicken breast.
Chicken breast, right.
They are strips of meat off the breast.
Okay.
I know it. They know it. Ain't nothing false about it. Don't give me a little, I don't know what you want to call this, a little half nugget, half wing shaped piece of meat. Tell me it's a wing. If I see a chicken with a boneless wing, it's not a wing, okay? It's a flap. Now, you're telling me you're going to look at this deformed chicken with a wing with no bones in it. It's a meat flap. And you're going to look at this and go, you know what? Give me that flap. I'll eat that. Yeah, that's what I want. When you've got the choice to have, a leg,
which is my favorite,
a breast, a thigh, or you know what? Give me the wing on. Give me the wing off the other side that has a bone in it, but don't give me the flap. See,
so what should you call them? Let's say you and I walk into Buffalo Wild Wings, and I'm a bone-in wing guy. I don't do boneless much, and so I say I want the bone-in wings. They bring them to me.
You shouldn't have to say bone-in. It's either a wing or it's not.
Oh, that's what I'm getting to. So what do you call the other ones?
A flap, a nugget, an oversized nugget, a chicken. Okay. I don't know.
Don't say boneless wing.
No, because it's not a wing. It never was a wing. There wasn't no wing to it because it never had a bone in it.
Wasn't even a little wing.
I don't know what you call it because I'm saying you can't convince me that the meat that makes up the chicken boneless wing is a wing.
So what do you think that boneless quote wing is? You think it's just
don't know.
They used to say in the Wendy's commercial, just pieces, parts.
What's in a hot dog?
Where'd it come from? An all beef hot dog.
Well, the point is, where'd it come from?
I got you.
Where'd it come from? Don't tell me it's a wing when it's not a wing.
Right.
Call it something else. Fine. Call it. You remember they used to have popcorn chicken?
Yeah. Yeah. Some of my family's favorite. We love popcorn chicken.
Popcorn chicken. Well, we kind of know what that is. That's it's just a whole bunch of stuff. Throw it in the fryer. It's whatever's left over. It's the little pieces of chicken meat fried up. But they called it popcorn chicken.
What about a Chick-fil-A nugget? Do you like those?
I don't eat them. Oh, now I eat I will eat the grilled ones because you know what it is?
Yeah.
It's just
There's
sliced
no
up.
bread to it.
It's just sliced up chicken breast. That's all it is.
Well, supposedly that's what the nuggets are.
Okay. Well,
supposedly. But they're not calling them chicken wings, so that's why I'm asking you if you would eat them.
Here's the thing for me, JB, is if I feel like someone is trying to trick me, I'm not touching it with a 10-foot pole. You know, I eat sausage from Country Pleasing Sausage every day. Well, look, number one, I've been to the plant.
Right.
I got a tour. I saw how they make it. I saw every single thing that goes into it. It is nothing in that sausage except ham, bacon, and pork loin, right? So I eat it.
Right.
I got no questions about what's in it, where it came from, how it's made, what it is. You hand me something and says, this is a wing. I mean, this doesn't have any bones. And I say, take it back. You can take it right back where the rest of that chicken is without bones in it. You show me the rest of the chicken with no bones, and then we'll start to have a conversation here about bigger, more important things. Like, where's the rest of them? Get rid of the rest of the chickens that have no bones in them. All right, let's see what we have here. In regards to coming on the show and singing his favorite song via karaoke, Olivier says, ha ha, I'm very busy that day. Even though we didn't specify. Mailman David says, loving the Fred Nugget reference. And is that how we got on Nuggets? As you said,
no, we were talking about Free for All Friday with Ted Nugent.
Oh,
no, you
Brooks.
You brought up this topic because you were listening to Brooks and them.
You noticed,
and there was somebody that texted his show that said he went to a boneless chicken farm and it was really heartbreaking to watch him try to walk.
Right. If that was a real place, I swear I would go. Yeah, that's right.
Would they not be snakes if they were boneless?
Funny stuff, man. Well, look, we didn't have any topics like this the last couple of days because Chris and them didn't have a show. And I heard a little bit of it. And so here it is. Free for All Friday. Y'all stick around in the Farm Bureau studio.
Hey, it's Jake Wimberly with the Afternoon Drive. Glad to be with you live at C Spire, Cross Gates Village.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/ real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country Pleasing sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan. Put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasing sausage, countrypleasing.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from it. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine.
ESPN 105.9 The Zone and streaming
Check it out online now
at thezone1059.com.
Hey. Here we go, rolling along with you on this Friday. It is a playoff day, game day around the state of Mississippi. I'm just going to go watch a game tonight. I hadn't done that in a little while. Been going to some games, so I've watched them, but I've also been working them, videoing, and that kind of thing. I think I'm not going to do that. Just hang out with the family, watch Tupelo Warren Central tonight. Got a really neat story that is about 50% of the way to completion for another Hometown Hero video for hopefully next week. And it's a little different. It's not a game per se, but a story. And so kind of looking forward to being able to work on that some next week and get it finished and pop it out there for y'all. Just a heads up. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check them out. You can go to my YouTube channel. Just look up Matt Wyatt Media or just search my name there on YouTube. You'll see it. And there's a playlist there on my channel called Hometown Heroes. And all of those are there from this year. So check them out if you like high school football. Dat Boy on the Country Pleasing text line. Boneless wings are made from rib meat. Do we know that for sure? Not all of them, surely. Some of them, all of them? Jason in Flagstaff setting us straight. Y'all are taking it too literally. Literally, he says. Who cares what they call it? It's chicken meat dripping with barbecue sauce. Get in my belly, bones or not. I don't discriminate. Yeah. I understand. Unnamed texter said snakes have bones. It's called an exoskeleton. Gross. Yeah, we're not serving up snake, are we? Not on purpose. Not outside of a survival situation. Bear Grylls. There's a Chris Brooks topic for you. Who's the greatest survival specialist on television? Is it Survivor Man? Bear Grylls? Somebody on that show alone? All right, here you go. The real Eric says, Matt, you're like a Swiss Army knife. You can sing, you can host a radio show, call football on the radio, and occasionally throw a touchdown pass. You are talented. Yeah, you know, what do they say? Jack of all trades and a master of none.
I think you're just a man outstanding in his fields.
Man, outstanding. He's just standing out in the field. He's out there by himself, just standing out there. Monkeys riding dogs on the text line says, hey, Maven, did you talk about the Joe Montana story? Are you watching the debate tonight? What is this? What is that, and who is that for?
I got no idea.
That ain't meant for us. What debate?
And if it is, we don't want it.
I mean, that was like one coming through about 2 weeks too late. Todd, who's listening over in Chelsea, Alabama, says your wing conversation reminds me of Governor Kay Ivey's infamous campaign quote, "Don't serve me mountain oysters and call it seafood."
Oh, Lord.
Why would they call it seafood?
Yeah.
Oysters.
Ooh. You ever had those?
No. Again, not that I
Deacon
know
served
of.
them to me one time at a meal he invited me to at his house. And he had not told me. They weren't from the mountain. They were actually just from the poor calf that became a...
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Right.
you get where I'm going.
I get it, yeah.
Yeah, and so it wasn't until after the meal. They had spaghetti and meatballs, right?
Meatballs.
Preacher, what did you think about those meatballs? And I went, they're good, man. He goes, well, they came off, yeah. And I went, I think I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Real
Excuse me. Yeah, I'll be right back.
But I was stronger the next couple of days. I couldn't figure it out.
JB. Charlie on the text line says, have you thought about getting Deion Sanders on your show? I think that could be a great interview. It also gives you a reason to play the sonic boom. I don't even need a reason. Yeah, look, I would love to be able to interview Coach Prime. Looks like he's getting players. And, of course, his son's going to play quarterback for him there. So we'll see how it goes. Jason in Flagstaff says Matt Graham is the best survival expert on TV. He's, I don't know who that is. I have to look him up. Named Texas.
I always thought it was MacGyver.
In Hollywood. No. Somebody said Bear Grylls. This is Ricky from Georgia. Bear Grylls seems easy to, way too eager to drink his own urine? Yeah, Lord of mercy. I mean, he did. On that survival show, he did. Supposedly, anyway. Yeah. Look at
you call it recycling?
Right. Look at Squirrel's text. He's like, JB ate spaghetti and meatballs, all right. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Squirrel. I appreciate you, man.
Miko says, I wonder who talks the most, Fred Smoot or Deion Sanders. That's the reputation. Big finish. Yeah, Smoot had a reputation and do a lot of talking, and he did, but I imagine Deion Sanders could hold his own in that regard. Here we go. Be glad when they're back on the field. Be glad when the SWAC is back.
Oh, I'm definitely going to go to a game.
I would love to go. Saying they're going to play in the spring, I just have my doubts about that.
Yeah.
But, hey, I guess it'd be better than nothing, for sure. Football related, this is out in the Pac-12. Let's see, this is supposed to be week 2 in the Pac-12. Yeah, they started last week. And someone tweeted this out there today, and look at this. This came from John Wilner, Pac-12 Hotline News editor with the Mercury News. What is that? Where's the Mercury News?
It's one of the sands. Oh, come on.
Anyway, he's got a blue check mark, so it must be bona fide.
San Jose, maybe.
Okay,
Yeah,
San Jose. This was this morning, okay, at just after 9 a.m., this is what he tweeted. In the last 30 minutes, we learned that Arizona State and Cal, the game is canceled because of cases and quarantine at Arizona State. Arizona State head coach Herm Edwards has tested positive, and the Pac-12 had to apologize to Stanford quarterback Davis Mills for a testing error that cost him a game. Meaning, he takes a test. You're positive. He misses their game. It comes back later, false positive. Sorry, man. You didn't test positive. How do y'all feel about that? How does everybody feel about that? Seriously, I'm not trying to sway you one way or the other. I'm just curious how everybody feels. You know, we pretty much know collectively what the reaction would be if this happened. The opposite. Somebody tests negative, who plays in the game. You come back the next day, they go, ooh, that was a false negative. You were actually positive. Right? Like, so what's the reaction to that? Well, do you have an equal or opposite reaction? That's not the right way to say it, but you get what I'm saying. Do you have sort of a similar feeling if this happens, which did? Stanford starting quarterback, he tests, you're positive. Missed the game. Turns out it was false. This is false positive. He didn't have it, never did, shouldn't have had to miss the game. How do we feel about that? Just one of those things? Just chalk it up, man. It's one of those deals. Too bad, so sad.
Yeah. Well, wouldn't you use the old cliche there? Better to err on the side of caution.
Mm-hmm. See, I think that's where that falls. You know, if you were to ask me the question, how do you feel about it, Matt? I would go, well, number one, it's just one of those things. Number two, yes, you're trying to err on the side of caution here, which I get it. And so there are going to be false positives. But the other side of it, too, is this feels like, and I think very much is, sort of a kind of sort of quasi football season. It is. And you go, well, what if that's a senior and that's his last go around? Well, they have gone the step of saying this doesn't count against your eligibility. If you want to keep playing, you can. You want to come back and play next year, you can. Even if you're a senior this year, come back and play. And you got to figure out school, and the schools have to figure out scholarship numbers and all that. And I don't know how they figured that out. I just know that as a player, I'm told I can come back and play if I want to. So anyway, look, if this thing is dangerous, which it is, you're trying your best to see that it doesn't get passed around. You're testing all the time. We're just going to have to put up with some false positives. I think that's where we are on it. Let's look at some high school games. We'll do it next. I'm Matt in the Farm Bureau studio. Farm Bureau, go with the home team. Stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi. and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country pleasing sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan, put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasing Sausage, countrypleasing.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from them. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, you know, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wyatt stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Hey, are you buying land or selling it? You need to let Matt Anderson with National Land Real.
Keep your radio turned on to ESPN 105.9, The Zone.
All right, we may be zeroing in on more information that might actually help me to, I don't know, JB, go ahead and commit to at least try some boneless wings.
Why is that, pal?
Did
you hear that trumpet sounding?
I wonder what that's going to sound like. I can't wait. No, I got a message from J2 that says boneless wings are made up of cut up breast meat, only breast meat, white meat. It is made and processed in Carthage. They are the ones that supply the local Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, I knew that. And there's also a Cook Foods over in Morton and Forest that do, I think, Church's chickens.
Okay.
And they also do, I think, maybe Zaxby's. Yeah.
Well, okay. I mean, you know, so
I would venture out to say that the fried nuggets at Chick-fil-A are probably some of the best I've ever eaten. And you just get whatever sauce you want, dip them in, you know.
Chick-fil-A sauce.
I like their boneless. I mean, what am I saying? Their boneless sauce to go with their boneless wings. No, the buffalo sauce. They got a good buffalo sauce.
Yeah. Look, it's breast meat. Okay, it's perfectly safe. These places aren't going to serve it if it's not safe. What I'm wondering is, why are we calling it wings?
I want to know why you have a bone to pick.
Ding! If I was a good host, I'd have had that button ready. I'd have had it ready. We'll talk some high school football. I'm a little bit conflicted here today. This is the literal truth right now. I'm wearing a Tupelo High School football T-shirt, and I'm wearing my Warren Central hat. It's actually true because I don't know. I kind of want to root for both my hometown team, and I don't want them to lose. You know, but family, I got family coaching at Warren Central. I don't want them to lose. It's tough. First world problems here. First world problems. All right, Davini Equipment phone line, Davini Equipment, Madison and in Jackson. It's day 2 of the Masters. Ryan's watching golf. What's up, Ryan?
Hey,
Hey.
yeah, since it's Masters week, figured I'd share a little story from when I played high school golf at Warren Central.
Yeah. Well, let me hear it.
All right, so one time I was playing in a JV tournament over in at Whisper Lake. Just about on it happened on the 11th hole.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy who's playing with in my group who's kind of being a little obnoxious. Like sometimes during a swing, back in the middle of my swing, he'd make some noise like he'd make a fart noise or something like that. He wasn't even being creative. He just did the cop out thing and just did a fart noise.
Just right in the middle of your backswing. Yeah. Okay.
Well, you see, Whisper Lake is it's in a heavy like residential area. There's like houses on every one, and there's one house. I think it's hole 11. It's a par 3.
Okay.
And right behind the tee box, there's a small little yard, and someone had like a dog in the back of their yard. Mm-hmm. So it was barking a little bit. So when he right in the middle of his swing, I did. He said, "What was that? What was that? What was that?" I said, "Hey, I guess it was that dog right over there."
Were you throwing your voice so it sounded like it came from the direction of the dog?
Oh yeah. One point, I made him think that the dog was like following us at one point.
That's great. But here's the thing about that, Ryan. I mean, where's the sportsmanship for you guys?
That was like my 9th grade year.
Okay.
So that was me being a rookie.
Yeah, I got you.
And another thing about the Warren Central Tupelo game there.
Yeah, hit me.
It's Warren Central's first away game this entire year.
What?
This Tupelo game.
Yeah, okay, so how does that happen? They had games canceled, I guess?
Yeah, they've had like a bunch of games canceled, and like Starkville was supposed to be an away game, but that got canceled and replaced with like South Panola.
Right, who came to...
But this is like the first home game of the year for Warren Central.
First road game.
It's going to be kind of interesting.
Yeah, first road game of the year. How about that? That is crazy. I did not know that. Thanks for the nugget of info, Ryan. Appreciate the story.
All right, go Vikes.
Yep. See you, man. How about that? Warren Central hitting the road for the first time all year long. Playoff game. See how they like it. Tupelo's been playing a little better. Warren Central probably, should win the ball game. Zach texted us and he said, what did he say? Carthage Tyson also has a contract with Chick-fil-A. So Chick-fil-A is getting chicken out of Carthage also. Ready Teddy says, Matt, they are called boneless chicken wings because you can't put what? Can't put what on the menu? Some of y'all are crazy. I'll just say that. Some of y'all are nuts. Thanks for the text. 885-ESPN. 885-ESPN. 885-3776. Playoff schedule. We talked about it earlier in the week, so we were already talking about Warren Central comes to Tupelo tonight. Madison Central goes to Oxford. Hernando at South Panola. Horn Lake is at Clinton. JB, what do you think about that one? Horn Lake at Clinton.
I think Clinton is playing probably as good as anybody in the state right now, and they are primed for an upset.
Yeah.
If they don't, they need to focus on this week and not look down the road to next week.
Yeah.
But I think they get the job done, and I think Boswell's a strong enough coach that he's way ahead of me on making sure his team doesn't look past this weekend.
Mm-hmm. They upset Warren Central, then went on and beat Starkville. What was that, in the season finale? They beat Starkville?
Yeah, that's correct.
And then here they are, sitting there at 8-2, hosting Horn Lake. You know, we pick on Chris a little bit about being a Northwest ranking homer. What about you and Clinton, though? Be honest.
Yeah, I am. All three of my kids finished school there, and the school district and the teachers. My wife teaches there. I mean, it's a great community. I didn't grow up there.
Yeah.
But very, very good school system, and afforded all three of our children an opportunity to great education and to learn how to be good citizens in our country.
And now we know why it was like fingernails on a chalkboard when I said Bobby Hall used to say the arrows.
Oh, look, man, I'd want to jump through the TV. And when Madison Central beat Clinton, I want to say it was my daughter's, possibly her senior year, on the brand new field.
Mm-hmm.
And not only did they beat us, but they just kind of stuck it in our ear.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and you know, they had a chapter in that book, Us versus Y'all, or something like that.
Yeah, y'all versus us. Yeah,
yeah.
That's right.
Pretty cool stuff, man. But
yeah.
It's like Brooks talked about today, and you and Annabeth talked about a couple days ago. Just this this despondence that happens when you play your final game, because there's something about these guys that you've grown up with, that you've known, most of you, since elementary school, and it's the last time you'll play somebody. I think one of the things my son told me when he went on to play after high school, he said it just wasn't the same for him.
Yeah.
And he enjoyed it, don't get me wrong, but it was just like there just wasn't the same bonds that you had at the college level.
Yeah, it's different. It's a little different. I mean, you build relationships.
You build new ones, right.
But you're right. There's something different about it. I don't know even really. I need to think about it to describe it 100% accurately, but it is different. I mean, it definitely is different. I got a text reminding us that years ago, Warren Central beat Madison Central there in Vicksburg, right at the last second of the ball game there. And Coach Hall laid down face first on the field at the end of the game. Just laid down, face first, face down in the grass. Just laid down. You know what? Despondent. Coach Hall. What's he up to?
I don't know. I don't think he's at Lux anymore. Last time I heard, he was just kind of hanging out, going down to watch Tulane play, and doing his thing.
Yeah. All right. High school playoffs. Ocean Springs, the Greyhounds come to Northwest Rankin tonight.
I don't know what it looks like up there,
Gorgeous.
but it is a sun-drenched blue sky day down here.
Yeah. What's the word you use? Resplendent?
Resplendent, yes, indeed, which means glorious.
What it means in redneck is, dadgum, it's pretty. Dadgum, it's a pretty day. All right, hour 2 coming up. Talk a little golf with my friend Don Williams. He'll join us live from Augusta. Day 2 of the Masters. More
about
on high
DJ?
School. Yeah, how about him? He's where you thought he'd be. And the SEC is doing some voting and moving and shaking. I'll give you the update in that. Hour 2. Stick around.
Hey, it's Friday the 13th, but let's make it a good one. Not a bad one. Do that at C Spire.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country Pleasing Sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan, put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasing Sausage, countrypleasing.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from them. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, you know, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wyatt stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Hey, are you buying land or selling it? You need to let Matt Anderson with National Land Realty help you out. Matt Anderson Properties. Here's what Matt can do. If you're buying land, you can view the property without ever setting foot on it. They've got the 360-degree interactive drone touring. It's really cool. You got to check it out. And if you're selling property, Matt's going to get you consistent reports, comprehensive reports of who's looking, how many people looked at your listing. You need to let him help you. Matt Anderson Properties with National Land Realty. Call him, 601-408-5155. Hey, if you listen to the show, you know that the new third hour of the Matt Wyatt Show is brought to you by Overstreet Properties in Starkville. Here's what you need to know. If you're looking for a weekend home or condo, full-time residence, investment property, maybe just an apartment to lease, you got a student going to school at State, call Kane Overstreet at Overstreet Properties. In Starkville, it's 323-8618, or look them up online, overstreetproperties.com.
Zone1059.com and on your radio at ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
Let's go. Hour 2 of the show off and running with you here today on this Friday. Sort of a free-for-all Friday. We're going to talk some golf today, day 2 of the Masters. I really had a good time yesterday on the show. Being joined in the studio, the Farm Bureau studio here, by the homecoming queen, looking back on our trip over to Augusta to see the Masters in 2018. I was off a year. I thought it was 2017 when we went. It was actually 2018. That was an awesome trip. Enjoyed talking about that with her yesterday. And if you missed it, you can find the podcast. Just open up the iTunes podcast app on your iPhone. Search the Matt Wyatt Show. You'll see it on yesterday's stuff. And make sure you subscribe there to the podcast if you haven't already. New stuff popping up. All right, hour 2 here in the Farm Bureau studio. Farm Bureau, go with the home team. Text line is open. Feel free to text the show. We're going to jump in there and talk with my friend Don live from Augusta coming up here in just a couple. If everything goes according to plan, we'll do that. I do want to read you a couple things here, updates. This from Ross Dellinger of Sports Illustrated. It's regarding SEC football as they are looking to reschedule some stuff. Okay, there are links over there. If you want to go look for it yourself, you can. Look at his Twitter timeline at Ross Dellinger, and that's with 2 L's. SEC presidents will now allow teams with a game impacted on the same weekend to schedule a game with one another instead of idling. All right, no rematches, no new games. It has to be something that's already scheduled, and the decision has to be made by Mondays of that week. Okay, so that's one thing. You understand that? So, to give you an example, like, I don't know. Listen, who does it? Okay, so Ole Miss plays LSU the week after the Egg Bowl, right? And let's just say hypothetically, this is just totally a hypothetical. You know, what if? What if this week by Sunday or whatever they knew, well, South Carolina can't play? Well, if LSU was sitting over there and their opponent couldn't play, or they had an open date, LSU and Ole Miss could get on the phone and say, hey, look, if we make this decision by Monday, we can just go ahead and play our game this week. And they would allow them to do that. Okay? So, number one, the SEC is going to allow that. And number two, the presidents of the SEC also approved what athletic directors did earlier this week, and they expected to do, which is December the 19th. Okay, so we're talking about the week before Christmas here, or week of. December the 19th now can be used to make up games not involving division champions. Okay, so it's a little bit hard to understand. I haven't read all the details. Just know that's coming out. Meaning, look, if you're Mississippi State and Auburn, your game was lost this week. If they want to, they can tee that sucker up and play on December the 19th. If they want to have that, if they want to do it, have the game and start. We'll go play. If they both agree, the SEC says you can do it. All right, we'll talk more about that later. Today is day 2 of the Masters. A little bit cooler today, about 5 degrees cooler, I think, right now. 76 as opposed to the 81 yesterday. And look at the top. 8 under, 8 under, 8 under. And there's DJ Dustin Johnson in the mix. Let's talk with Don Williams, who is covering his 38th Masters tournament, a unique one at that, and he is live with us from Augusta National. Don, I really do appreciate some time. Happy Friday to you, and I hope you're enjoying the weather there in Augusta.
Absolutely gorgeous. It is gorgeous, Matt. Little breeze finally kicking up for the first time since the tournament began. Sunshine, probably going to be the rule of the day for the rest of the tournament. The rains finally got out of here, and course is still playing fairly easy. Now we've got 3.5 hours till sundown.
Yeah.
Those that played early yesterday and haven't struck a shot in 24 hours are going to go out there, and they may find it a touch more difficult than those who played yesterday afternoon and this morning. We'll see. The lead was overnight, overnight being 10 o'clock this morning.
Right.
The lead was, 7 under with Paul Casey and a couple of others, and it's grown by 1 to 8 under in the last 4 hours. So, the idea of taking 7 under and doubling it, and it's going to be 14 under, doubtful. It's doubtful because there have been some good scores this afternoon. Mm-hmm. Patrick Cantlay is 5 under, Danny Willett 5 under, Tommy Fleetwood 5 under, but all those guys started at 1 or 2. So what they've done basically is they've caught up, or in Answer's place, they're at the top of the leaderboard. Those that were at the top are just kind of still there. Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, 1 under for their round so far. So those 2 players, 2 of the best in the world, Matt, had a chance to put some daylight between themselves and everybody else. Mm-hmm. With their rounds down to the last 4 or 5 holes, doesn't look like they're going to do that.
Very interesting way to look at it. I hadn't thought about it. You're exactly right. So Thomas, who on his round today through 12 is 1 under, and DJ 1 under through 13. And you're right, there's some other guys that have gone low. One of those is a former champion, Danny Willett. I was going to ask you about him and Patrick Reed, Don, because yesterday we obviously talked about Tiger, a former champion, but there's Patrick Reed sitting there at 4 under, and Willett today through 16 is 5 under on his round. 2 guys who've won it before with experience. It's Friday, but they're playing well.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with the afternoon starters, because they're all going to go out knowing they're not going to finish. Mm. The afternoon starters are just now beginning their trek. Those at the very, very beginning of that pool of players may get through 13, and the trailing end will probably get through 9. So all of them are going to, spend the night restlessly tossing and turning, knowing they're going to have to get out there first thing tomorrow morning, just like today's players did. But then they're going to have to wait a little while the cut is determined, and then go play 18 more. So I really think that for Tiger Woods and for Patrick Reed and Lee Westwood and for Paul Casey, a little bit of a disadvantage. Mm-hmm. In a tournament that over 72 holes and 280 strokes or so, a little bit of a disadvantage can be the difference between winning and losing, because how often does it come down to one stroke, and you think back to a lip out that you had on Thursday. So I'll be very interested to see what develops with those afternoon players. But the guys who are going to be finishing here in the next hour are going to be very happy, because they're going to have about 20 hours to rest. And, they basically have been playing nonstop for 24 hours, except for the time they spent sleeping. So, they're ready to be done.
No doubt. Don Williams on your radio right now, a veteran of the Masters himself. He's covered it for 38 years, and this one certainly in November, a different one. But, you know, I touched on sort of with you yesterday, Don, the feeling of this Masters being that it's, you know, you don't have the patrons, it's not in the spring, it's in the fall. But from your perspective and, you know, the golf audience and really just the sporting world, the interest for this Masters, is it heightened because it is unique? Is there a little bit of a lack of interest, do you think, in this term? I'm trying to kind of zero in on what the national audience, maybe how they're consuming this. Do you have a read on that?
I just know the people that comment to me, I think they're just as focused as they ever are in April. TV ratings will tell us a lot. The challenge, and you know it, I just heard you talking about the SEC rule on December 19th. Mm-hmm. The Masters has never had to compete with football.
Right.
Really, they are competing with the NBA playoffs and the first weekend of Major League Baseball. So this is a different animal.
Right.
So come Sunday, you know, they will be going up against the 1 o'clock games on the NFL. I think the Masters wins. But does it demand the share of the audience that it normally gets? I don't know. A lot of it will have to do with what that leaderboard looks like on Sunday morning, I would think. Hey, you know, a couple of things we haven't mentioned, and I want to make sure we don't forget them, is Phil Mickelson is 5 under, 3 off the pace, got 2 holes to play.
Mm-hmm.
He's 50 years old and really has not threatened since Memphis, and really has only played well on the PGA Tour twice this year. But again, it's Augusta, and we've talked about how the older players tend to figure out how to get it around, and Phil is figuring it out as he normally does. So he's a factor. And then if you watched this morning, I don't know if you did, Rory McIlroy looked lost.
Yeah.
I mean, he hit a tee ball in the water on 16.
Yeah.
Which you might see that happen every other year from one person.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't just, you know, hit the bank and roll in. He hit it in the middle of that lake on 16 and on his way to a 75. McIlroy is 5 under through 14 in his afternoon round. 2 under, I mean, he's still a ways back, but it appears if he can get it to the house, he's going to make the cut. And that just shows the resiliency that you have to have. You've got to put the bad shots behind you and go out and just play the shot that's in front of you. And Rory McIlroy is showing all of us how to do that.
Yeah. And of course, you know, he had that hook tee shot on 13, you know, and
oh, wow.
I had to, when I saw the shot and then I had to step away, did they find his ball or was it like hit another? Like, how did that play out on 13 for him?
Yeah, they did, Matt, find his ball. And it was funny because he immediately played a provisional and it was a good shot.
Okay.
And Nick Faldo in the tower says he's hoping right now he doesn't find that first one, but he did find it. And, he had to take an unplayable, and you're still in the junk.
Yeah. And
chip it into the fairway. So, you know, he's lying 3, which essentially was about where he would have been if he'd have played his provisional. But, that was one of the worst, the deepest shots I have ever seen left of number 13.
Yeah. Don Williams on your radio right now. So you said it. Okay, there's Phil Mickelson. I agree. You know, and JB and I were talking how initially they were going to have, the Masters leading up to a 5 o'clock kickoff on CBS for LSU and Alabama in football. And now that football game's not happening. And, you know, I just think if you were to look and you get Tiger and Phil and Johnson and Thomas and some of these guys, but especially a Phil, you know, given that he's 50, you get him in contention Saturday, Sunday. I mean, those ratings could go through the roof. That's just my gut telling me. I wonder how you feel about that.
No, I if you've got Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson both in the top 10 with within 3-4 of the lead on Sunday morning, yeah, you are definitely talking world-class ratings. And, especially if you also have Dustin Johnson and Justin Thomas up there, the players that they're chasing. Now, there's other players that, as you well know, that are on the leaderboard, and if you're golf fans, you know who they are. If you're just Masters fans, you're trying to figure out, well, who's Abraham Answer and Patrick Cantlay and Sung J M. These are all players that are excellent, world-class players, but the public doesn't know who they are. If that's your leaderboard on Sunday, it's a different story. But you've got Dustin Johnson and Justin Thomas right now at 8 and 7. You've got Fleetwood at 6, Mickelson at 5, and I'm just pulling the big names, Justin Rose and Lee Westwood, Patrick Reed, and Tiger Woods at 4. That's a pretty good leaderboard right there.
Mm-hmm. That is would be fantastic for sure. Don Williams is on your radio. He's live with us from Augusta National. It's day 2 of the Masters. 77 degrees and sunny. And Don, just like yesterday, I guess conditions obviously similar because they are attacking the par 5 number 2, the par 5 13th, and the par 5 15th. You've seen 5 eagles each on 13 and 15. They're just going after it, aren't they?
Yeah, and I still don't see huge change in the golf course yet. Ball's still not rolling out in the fairway. It probably will tomorrow. The greens are probably just a touch quicker than they were yesterday, but again, nothing overly significant. And the wind just appeared about an hour ago. Appeared is merely saying that the flags are now moving a little bit. It's certainly nothing that's like it can be in the spring where it can whip across this golf course. So, but it's going to be harder this weekend. It will be harder this weekend in a lot of ways, but I still don't think it's going to be, with the teeth that we sometimes see Augusta National. It's going to be very scoreable, I believe.
Sure. And I almost can't help but wonder, Don, if that doesn't help. Almost like the dynamic of, and this doesn't necessarily go for the purist, whether it's football or baseball or, a baseball purist can love a pitcher's duel at 1-0, but just for the overall audience, if birdies are being made, I think that just helps to draw people in on a weekend where, because of what's going on around the country, a lot of people they're going to be home this weekend and they're going to be in front of that television. I think the high scores could help.
The thing that's fascinating to me about the Augusta when it's scoreable is, if you had this golf course laid out differently, so that 4 through 12 was your opening 9, and then 13 through 3 was your back 9, you would have I'm oversimplifying, but you'd have a golf course that was basically a par of 40 and a par of 30. But it's not laid out that way.
Right.
But so what that means is that fans know that when you get on that back 9 on Sunday, there are about 5 strokes that are available to you. If you hit a great shot on 12, you then have the chance on 13 to make eagle or birdie. You have a chance on 15 to make eagle or birdie. You definitely can make birdie on 16. And 18 with the Sunday placement is not that tough either. So I think that's what fans know, is that when they get to the last 6 or 7 holes on Sunday, your man may be 3 behind, but he can make up 5 shots. And conversely, while it is easier, you also can make mistakes. And if you're the guy you're chasing hits it in the water on 13 or 15, then you're right there in the hunt. I think that's what people like. And that's not what the U.S. Open has. There are no birdie holes on a U.S. Open.
Sure.
You are merely hoping that you can find a way to make par and hoping that everybody else around you falls apart, which often happens.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a different deal at Augusta. And I think people like that.
Sure. I think so. I've got 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes, Don.
Yep.
If somebody said, you know what, Don, you're going to get to go out, pick any hole on the course, and you get to go play that hole this afternoon for fun. You're just going to get to go play it for fun. Which hole is it do you choose and why?
Oh, that's simple, and not the answer that anybody would expect. I'd play number 3 because it's 350 yards. I can play that hole all day long. I can play that hole all day long.
Okay.
I've got to get one plug in for my man.
All right.
Bernhard Langer just made birdie on 15. It's par 5, so you're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
He's 3 under par. Looks like the cut's going to be 1. Far from certain, but that's what it looks like. So he's got 2 shots to play with and 3 holes to play. If he makes the cut at 63, he will be the oldest player to ever make the cut at the Masters. That's something to put on your Wikipedia page.
No question about it. And let's just go ahead and say it to one of the most physically fit 63-year-old men we'll find anywhere as well.
And he's given up 100 yards because he is, 63.
Yeah.
He doesn't hit it like he used to, and so he's getting no roll. Mm-hmm. So I've been watching him. He into the par 4s, except for number 3, he's hitting hybrid on every hole.
Yeah.
And he has gotten up and down from everywhere. So kudos to Bernhard, but still 3 holes to play. Anything can happen.
That's great. Don, thanks so much for giving me some time here on Friday, my last show of the week. And enjoy the weekend. Should be fun.
Thanks, Matt. Talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you. Talk to you soon. That's Don Williams, a 38-year veteran of the media contingency there, covering the Masters. 38th and the first one that's
Dude's
ever
got
happened.
A great voice, man.
Yeah, Don's a neat guy. I met him through the Learfield company that he used to work for, that obviously is our rights holder for Mississippi State. So on the radio side, Don's actually who hired me initially to.
Really?
Yeah, in 2009 to be on the pregame and postgame show, and then he's the one that hired me to move into the booth with Jim Ellis for football games in 2011. We became friends. He's a great guy.
When you first mentioned his name, I just thought we were going to living on toes of time.
That's it. Yep. The other Don Williams, right?
Yeah.
Now, this Don, he used to,
I like it.
Years ago, he's a big-time sports fan. Great guy. And he and I have become close friends. And he loves golf and loves baseball, really, in terms of the people I know in my circle of friends, unequaled by anybody else. And he was a play-by-play announcer, obviously has a radio voice, and then just got into the sales side of it at some point, but has managed to continue a career in media and golf coverage for a long time. So glad to be able to talk.
Thanks for having him on, man. He was really good these last 2 days.
Yeah, I appreciate him. All right, rolling along. Stick around in hour 2.
Guys, I hope it's a great Friday. Let's make it an even.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country Pleasing sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan. Put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasing sausage, countrypleasing.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from them. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Hey, are you buying land or selling it? You need to let Matt Anderson with National Land Realty help you out. Matt Anderson Properties. Here's what Matt can do. If you're buying land,
Wyatt Show.
all right. Back with you here in the Farm Bureau studio, Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team and staying connected to you around the clock. Not just while we're on the air, but also off the air. Tweeting, uploading, Instagramming, live streaming, posting, videoing. What else? What else is there? Lots of other stuff. With my handy-dandy iPhone from C Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi. C Spire, customer inspired. What was it Jake said on that promo for the live thing he's doing from C Spire today? He said, it's easy. It's as easy as throwing a fade to the back corner of the end zone against an inferior opponent. Man, I love Jake. He's great. All right, I'm going to try to make hide or hair of this story that's out there. The SEC adding greater schedule flexibility for teams impacted by COVID-19. And that might answer, the headline itself might answer your question. Flowtown Ghost on the Country Pleasing text line, 885-ESPN, 601 number, 885-ESPN. The question from him was, is this for 1 year only or going forward? Well, it says it's COVID related, okay? So it's for teams impacted by COVID-19. But the thing about that is, just before we even get to the details of the flexibility they're going to allow teams to have for rescheduling games, JB, if we look at it, it can't just be COVID. Because they, like in the situation of State, for instance, they put these thresholds out there of certain, you got to have 53 total players, available. You have to have what? You got to have 7 offensive linemen. You got to have at least 1 scholarship quarterback. You got to have at least 4 scholarship defensive linemen. Well, like in Mississippi State's case, I think offensive line was really impacted. Well, it's not just COVID. COVID might have taken them below the number, but it was also injuries outside of that, outside of COVID, that really had them under the scholarship number. Therefore, they couldn't go play. So, I mean, COVID is part of it. Anyway, so it's a little hard to figure out, Flowtown Ghost, like how far-reaching is this deal where they can adjust the schedules? Let me just get into it and kind of see what it says here. SEC executives on Thursday approved a provision to allow its teams more flexibility amid, what a word, we don't use that enough in regular conversation, do we? Amid a COVID-19 outbreak that has postponed 4 games this weekend. 6 total since the start of the season. So here it is. 2 teams that have a game impacted on the same weekend can now schedule a game with one another instead of sitting idle. For instance, under this new policy, if Auburn, for instance, didn't have their outbreak this week, then Auburn could have played Alabama. Alabama's idle after its game against LSU was postponed because of COVID-19 in Baton Rouge. Remember that? So State comes out and they go, we can't play here at State. Sorry, Auburn, we can't play. Well, Auburn turned out they had their own COVID issues. But if they hadn't, and they're like, oh, well, I guess we got to sit here and twiddle our thumbs this weekend. No, as long as you make the decision by Monday, you got somebody else on your schedule who's sitting there idle. Y'all could move it up and play it. Okay, so you see what I'm saying? Move it up and play it. If you've got 2 teams sitting there idle because of this COVID stuff, it gives the league flexibility to get some games in without it getting pushed way back down the line. So there's that possibility. It says, though, there are some stipulations that you need to know about. Rescheduling decisions would have to be made by the Monday before that Saturday game. The policy does not allow you to schedule a rematch just to get a game. You can't play somebody twice. And you can't just create a new game. All right, so the 2 teams are going to have already scheduled each other. Okay. Just trying to get in. It's one little window of opportunity to get a game in that's already on the schedule. That's one way to characterize this. They take it one step further in terms of the example here to kind of make sure we understand what we're dealing with. This is at Sports Illustrated. You look at Texas A&M and look at Mississippi State. Both teams dealing with COVID-19 issues. All right, so next week, State plays Georgia. Texas A&M scheduled to play Ole Miss. Well, you could have a situation where Ole Miss and State could not schedule a game because they are not already scheduled to play a game. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, it's, again, I think the best way to understand it is they're opening up the possibility, if you're going to play each other anyway, if there's a game on the schedule, we're playing each other, and it just so happens that we're both sitting here idle this weekend without somebody to play, as long as we decide it by Monday, we can just jump in here and play each other. Gives you an opportunity to get a game in and a little flexibility in the schedule deal there. Now, the other thing to me is the whole December 19th makeup date. I can't really find a whole lot that makes that really clear. Other than, if you're not playing in the conference championship game, you missed a game, y'all can make it up. Just go play. Let's see what it says here. The conference implemented flexibility in its schedule with a December the 12th open date. This is for COVID games, COVID-impacted games. Halfway through the season, you got 10 of the league's 14 teams have already moved games to that weekend, December 12th. Okay, so that means stuff's getting way pushed back. So the situation was tight enough that earlier this week, SEC administrators approved a proposal. So we're gonna send it ahead, sending the proposal ahead to give a second flex weekend for moving games into that if you need to, December the 19th. Games that don't involve the division champions. Those division champions are going to be playing in the SEC title game, obviously. So if you're not one of those, you're not in the title game, you're not Florida or Alabama, that's who it's going to be, Florida and Alabama. So anybody other than Florida and Alabama, you need to make up a game. I'm just, again, throwing out an example. Mississippi State and Auburn. Not playing this week. If they play the remaining of their schedule and they still haven't played each other, State and Auburn can tee it up and play on December 19th. So they're allowing it to happen so you can have some full seasons and, for whatever reason that is. I don't really know what the whole reason for that would be. Just, I don't know, getting the same number of snaps in there, evening out stats. I don't know necessarily why you would want to do it, but you can if you want to. Now, to take a step back on all this, just throw out the specifics. Forget it now. Hear me on this. I told you in the preseason, really as practice was starting and the league came out and goes, here's our schedule. We're playing 10 games against each other. That's it. It's a conference-only schedule starting late. I'm pushing everything back a week, open dates, 10 games, playing each other, okay? And this is what I told you. And it's not that I need a pat on the back for being right. It's just that it makes my point. You and I both knew then they're not getting all these games in. Ain't no way. Okay? No way. What did we say? The chances of all 14 teams playing all 10 games of their schedule are like slim to none. It ain't happening.
So here's a stat for you. Of 403 games that could have or should have been played up to this point in the college football season, only 53 have been canceled or postponed. That's 87%.
Mm-hmm.
That's a B plus in most people's case.
It really is. I'll take a B plus.
So what do you want to focus on?
Yeah,
and that's what I want to ask the world.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to focus on the positive? Because, my Lord, we got negative every day in our life.
Well, and JB, you bring up an excellent point because you're right. The majority positive. It is amazing how many games have been played and all this kind of stuff. But also, am I right, JB? We don't have a single solitary hospitalization, COVID-related, of a football player or staff member. Not one.
That's correct. And Boise State was without 14 people due to COVID last night and still beat the Ram out of the Colorado State Rams.
And I'm going to tell you what's happening, y'all. JB, I know you see it too because you follow some of these guys on Twitter. I've got a couple of college football lists of media people.
Yeah.
Here it comes. Here it comes again. It's just like August all over again.
Yeah.
Negative. The sky is falling. Chicken Little. The sky is falling.
Not to be confused with Chicken Hawk.
It's negative. This is a dire situation. Oh my gosh. They are freaking out. Stick around.
Hey, it's Jake Wimberly with the Afternoon Drive. Glad to be out at C Spire, Crossgates Village off of West Government Street next to the Burger King. Be here till 2 o'clock.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country Pleasin' sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan, put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasin' sausage, countrypleasin.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from them. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasin', please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, you know, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wyatt stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pump.
It's the Gridiron with Chris Brooks. Weekdays 10 a.m. to noon. Streaming online at thezone1059.com and on your radio at ESPN 1059 The Zone.
Now to get back to our little talk.
Right here on the Matt Wyatt Show.
All right, back with y'all to wrap up hour 2 in the Farm Bureau Insurance studio. I've got breaking news regarding one high school playoff matchup that was set to happen tonight.
Uh-oh.
Was being the operative word right there. I'll tell you those details. I'm in the Farm Bureau Insurance studio. Farm Bureau Insurance, your hometown heroes are your Farm Bureau Insurance agents in all 82 counties around the state of Mississippi. When something pops up, insurance related, and it ain't always fun. It could be a fender bender at 11 o'clock at night, on a Saturday. But if it is and you're with Farm Bureau, you know your agent personally, one-on-one, face-to-face. You text them, you call them, they show up. Get to work on it right away. And that personal touch is what you get with Farm Bureau Insurance that you don't get everywhere else. So according to the Vicksburg Post, Tupelo has been forced to forfeit tonight's game.
No way.
Yeah, Warren Central advances to round 2. This is according to the Vicksburg Post. And we're hearing hints of that, but trying to make sure. Seeing it on Twitter now, being retweeted by the Northeast Mississippi Daily Journal. The tweet from Vicksburg Post Sports: another forfeit. COVID-19 outbreak among Tupelo's football team has forced it to forfeit tonight's Class 6A playoff game versus Warren Central. Warren Central advances to the second round and will play Horn Lake or Clinton next week.
Boy, if that's a Clinton-Warren Central matchup, that'd be something. Now Boswell's even going to have to make his team play harder not to look forward to next week.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that was the first little big upset after Clinton had beaten South Panola to see them go to Warren Central.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I remember correctly, they scored the last 31 points of the game.
Right. So how many now? We've had several. I don't have necessarily like a running list, but in terms of, I think that's the only of the 6A games, right?
Yeah, I'm looking that up right now, too.
Right, so Madison Central at Oxford, still on. Hernando at South Panola, still on. Clinton hosting Horn Lake. Here's the thing about that, too, JB. Okay, so if Clinton beats Horn Lake.
And they hosted.
They hosted, so they will go to Warren Central next week.
That's correct.
If Horn Lake pulls the upset at Clinton,
will host.
Then Horn Lake would host Warren Central next week.
That is correct.
Okay. So Warren
what you
Central.
What you going to do tonight?
Yeah, that's a good question. My head's
Plans
spinning.
change.
Well, let's see. Okay, so I'm not even saying I am, but basically I'm sitting here with cameras and the batteries are charged.
You got the Boy Scout motto: be prepared.
So let's look at home game. See, because of the time frame, and I'm in Tupelo, so
Go
because
see Madison Central and Oxford.
Yeah, Oxford would be an option. It's basically an hour away. But the problem is getting in touch with somebody at the school. But, I mean, I could probably pull that off. Let's see.
How far is Lake Comoron?
Yeah, it's a little ways.
Couple hours?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's too far on this short of notice.
What about, you got a game at Amory, Choctaw County.
See, and
Amory.
I've been there with the cameras once this year already. Biggersville, been there. I tell you what, TCPS, Tupelo Christian, 7-2, and they're hosting Ashland. Baldwin's hosting French Camp. That's 1A football.
What about Pontotoc?
See, is Pontotoc hosting?
I thought they were.
Well, I'm looking. No, they're on the road at Ripley.
How far is Ripley?
It's not far. It's you go to New Albany and head north. Probably take you 45 minutes to get up there, something like that from here. So there's an option. Corinth is hosting West Lauderdale. Let's look at 3A. How about that? Amory and Nettleton are both at home hosting playoff games tonight, JB, and those two schools are about 8 miles apart. 9 miles apart. Noxubee County's at home. They host Boonville. Noxubee County won on the road last week. I'm looking at North Mississippi stuff just because that's where I am. Let's see here. 2A, you have. You don't really have. Let's see. The farthest. Well, you got Mantachie. The Mantachie Mustangs out in the middle of nowhere. I used to live in Mantachie years ago, JB.
I played college baseball with a cat that was from Mantachie. And another guy that was from Shannon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Shannon. Yeah, the Shannon Red Raiders. Shannon's season this year, it was really rough. Daryl Carter is the head coach at Shannon. Daryl and I were teammates for 1 year on an indoor football team in Tupelo, the Fire Ants, about 20 years ago. Not quite 20 years ago, but Daryl is a great guy. Plays college ball. it's Louisiana Monroe, but I think when he was there, it was Northeast Louisiana. Great guy, heck of a football player, and really good coach. But they've been through it. They had a young man that passed away on their football team early in the year, and then at the end of the year, kind of the back end of their year, really was interrupted by COVID. They had some games that they had to forfeit.
Speaking of that, didn't TCPS have a coach that passed away?
Yeah, Rob Barnes. Mm-hmm. Rob was kind of their physical fitness, strength, and of course their conditioning guy. Rob was a guy who trained a lot of kids in terms of running, how to run, how to train to run, get them faster, and a great guy. He was sort of a staple here in Tupelo for years and years and years. And Rob was a really neat guy too, in that he was as well known as he was as like an athletic trainer. He was a member of a singing group called the Lane Chapel Quartet.
How about that?
And the Lane Chapel Quartet, these guys, not only were they really, really good, they were made up of guys, including one of their guys who sang with them is a guy named Wayne Herford, who has been a videographer and reporter for the local TV station for years. And anyway, Rob was kind of almost like the front man in that singing group. So it was really a tough loss for a lot of people. Rob, one of those who just had no enemies whatsoever, everybody loved him. Yeah, so TCPS dealt with that. You're right. He'd been working out there, but really it's just the whole community. Everybody knew Rob. So Mantachie hosts Calhoun City tonight. East Webster is at home tonight. They're hosting Walnut. Anyway, so things getting shaken up. It's one of those that, again, I think that a lot of these things are to be expected, even though, fans making plans to get in their car and travel and go watch a game and all this kind of stuff. Still, at the last minute, the ninth hour, somebody goes, well, they're not going to play. I think in the world we live in, none of us are shocked by any of it. We're just not shocked anymore by any of this. We're really not. So this, I kind of feel like, as you're getting mid-afternoon here, to have one get canceled, there could be others. Really. There could be others for sure. We'll just kind of keep an eye on it. And y'all let me know if you wind up hearing anything. Y'all can text it to me. Yeah, Tyler, he's asking over here on the Country Pleasin' text line. Country Pleasin' sausage. Grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Go up in there and say, Country Pleasin', please. I had the 3-cheese Country Pleasin' sausage for breakfast. It's good. It is good. I mean, they basically take the original smoked sausage flavor and put 3 cheeses in there. It's good.
You know what I just figured out, Matt?
What?
We're talking about trying to stay positive. And I go back to the first part of the show today. You said, around here, we've been in cleaning mode.
Been cleaning up.
Ain't nobody coming now, but you got a clean house.
Well, I think they are coming. I think they're gonna
Are they still coming?
Well, I think they're halfway here. So let's keep on coming. We'll just spend a little time together, I reckon.
There you go. Eat some Country Pleasin'.
That's it. We'll fry some sausage tonight. We'll build a fire and cook it outside. Why not?
By the way, I need to get your address at some point because my son picked up a bunch of candy corn.
Oh, yeah.
That was on sale.
It was on sale?
And I was going to mail it to you.
Hey, Mary Liddy flipped out last night because we were eating some candy corn out of the package, and one came out, and it was solid white. Like it had none of the other, colors in there.
Candy
corn. He said, let me have that. I'm going to save it. It's great. All right. Tyler says, you played with the Fire Ants? My younger brother played 1 year there for John Forcade, then a second season for him as a Bossier City Battle Wing. You talk about the all-name team. Yeah, I did. I was on that team 1 year, and we played against John Forcade. And I'll never forget, John was old then. But he was still playing well. And our guys hit him and knocked him up over the wall, and he got stuck behind the wall and the bleachers. And it took about 5 people to haul him out of there. And we finally got him out. It was right next to our bench area. He's an opposing player, and he looked at all of us and said, "I'm getting too old for this." And when he said that, the whole team, we bust out laughing. It was great. He's still playing well. Heck, he was pushing 50 back then. Seemed like, anyway. All right, y'all stick around.
Having a good time out at C Spire today, Cross Gates Village off West Government Street next to Burger King. You can come by and see us. It's the Sports Maven. Jake Wimberly, glad to be with you today at C Spire.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country Pleasin' sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan. Put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasin' sausage, countrypleasin.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from them. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, "Country Pleasin', please."
A lot of people in the equipment world, you know, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wyatt stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Hey, are you buying land or selling it? You need to let Matt Anderson with National Land Realty help you out. Matt Anderson Properties. Here's what Matt can do. If you're buying land, You can view the property without ever setting foot on it. They've got the 360-degree interactive drone touring. It's really cool. You got to check it out. And if you're selling property, Matt's going to get you consistent reports, comprehensive reports of who's looking, how many people looked at your listing. You need to let him help you. Matt Anderson Properties with National Land Realty. Call him, 601-408-5155. Hey, if you listen to the show, you know that the new third hour of the Matt Wyatt Show is brought to you by Overstreet Properties in Starkville. Here's what you need to know. If you're looking for a weekend home or condo, full-time residence, investment property, maybe just an apartment to lease, you got a student going to school at State, call Kane Overstreet at Overstreet Properties. In Starkville, it's 323-8618, or look them up online, overstreetproperties.com.
Matt Wyatt Show. Talking about sports from around the world and right here at home. Streaming to you at the Zone 1059.com and on your radio on ESPN 105.9. The Zone.
All right, here we go. Hour 3 of the show. Off and running with you. Last hour of the week. In the Farm Bureau studio, Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau. Hour 3 presented by Overstreet Properties in Starkville. Overstreet Properties and overstreetproperties.com. So if you're headed to Starkville for any reason at all, moving, that would mean you need a permanent place to live, right? Well, they'll help you with that, certainly. And maybe it's not moving up there. Maybe you just go to Starkville for game weekends, 7 football games, home games out of the year, or add some baseball and basketball games in there. You need a condo that's yours and furnished, just ready for you to pop into town whenever you come into town for games. Or maybe a student leasing an apartment. Anything residential, Overstreet Properties in Starkville is the place to go. You'll talk to Kane Overstreet. Tell him I sent you. Find out the contact info here. Contact info at overstreetproperties.com.
Hey, I got a guest that dropped in on me via FaceTime.
Really?
Yeah, he's got a little Mississippi State football in his hand, and he's been homesick a couple days with the stomach virus. But my grandson Hudson has FaceTimed me, and he's sitting in the studio now.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that boy Hudson.
Yeah. He's got his maroon on for his Maroon Friday.
There you go. Hang in there, Hudson. Just hang in there, dude. Hang in there. The maroon will be running around the field again soon. It won't be long. And you'll be feeling better soon. It won't be long. Like that monkey who sat his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. All right, let me run down a few texts here on the Country Pleasing text line, and then I would like to tell you a story of something that happened the last time I went to the Masters in Augusta. 2018, Annabeth and I were there. But we didn't mention this yesterday. In fact, I don't think I thought of it yesterday, but I remembered it today. Anyway, I'll tell you that story. First up, though, here, Country Pleasing text. Chris says, who's going to give up a bye week to play a possible better team? Well, yeah, in this reshuffling schedule, flexible options that, if you want to call that, the SEC is allowing their teams to do. Chris, this is just about the league trying to get all the games in as best they can without it bleeding over into and past Christmas. Does that make any sense? In order to have a full season? It really more so, probably more accurately, it is the SEC giving itself a way to have everybody play the same number of games, hopefully, Give them a chance to do that anyway. Without some teams playing fewer and having games canceled and all this kind of stuff. Okay, so it's just an option. It's not earth-shattering, I think, either way. Tyler, you bring up a great point. Here's another factor in this. Why would the SEC, if they have teams who are not in the SEC title game, what's the point in letting them line up and play each other? State and Auburn get canceled this week. They may play it on December 19th. What's the point? Tyler, TV money. They have TV contracts. They're doing everything they can to put these games on TV. Guarantee you, ESPN doesn't care if it's November 19th or December 19th. They don't care. Just give me the game. We will sell it. We'll cash it in. Great point, Tyler. Thanks for the text. TV money is a big part of it. Denzel was telling me that 8 different games have been canceled this week, and so I guess the most recent making it 8 games would be Tupelo has had to cancel tonight, so they will not host Warren Central. Tupelo's season will be over, and Warren Central will move on and play the winner of Horn Lake versus Clinton if everything goes according to plan. Lynn texted and said, I'll vote for TCPS. My brother-in-law coached there. Yeah, they do have a decent team. I got to go speak to their football team earlier this year after one of their practices. Coach Sean Holliday there is the head coach, and they're playing really good football. They've built that into a really nice program. In fact, if you ever travel through Tupelo on Highway 78, it's now technically Interstate 22, but it's Highway 78. It goes all the way from Birmingham to Memphis and right smack dab through Tupelo. And you kind of get on that northwest side of Tupelo, right out there on the McCullough Boulevard exit on Highway 78. You'll see TCPS just off the exit there. You see the football field and the lights and everything. That's where they play. And Sean Holliday's son, Kai Holliday, is the quarterback. And he's had some big, huge ball games. He's had some of these 5 and 6 touchdown games. They put up huge numbers at times. And they're a 7-win football team this year. They're a good team.
The buddy of mine that's on the text line, he and I went to school together. We also went to different schools together at one point in time in our lives. But he says that dude's the real deal.
He can play.
Yeah.
His dad, Sean, played baseball at Ole Miss. They're great folks. And they have done a really fine job with that program. No question about it.
Well, he says that cat might be worth seeing in person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. Let me jump ahead. What else was I going to tell you? There was something else I was going to tell. Oh, I know what it was. You go back. I was talking about Biggersville there in 1A. Biggersville is 10-0. They have beaten everybody by scoring like 60 points. I gave you those scores the other day. For those that didn't listen, I kind of ran down the Biggersville scores this year. It's just incredible what they've done. But I think the first game of the year for Biggersville was TCPS, if I'm remembering right, and TCPS gave them a ball game. Yeah, that's right. It was the first game of the year, and Biggersville beat them 46-21. After that 46-21 win over TCPS, Biggersville went on to beat people by these following scores: 60-6, 64-0, 52-0, 54-0, 40-13, 62-6, 66-0, and there you go. I mean, and they're 10-0. So TCPS starts the season off. They give Biggersville a good ball game. The very next week, they played the defending 1A champs, Wyatt, and gave them a good ball game. And that's their only 2 losses. They've won 7 in a row after that. What else we got here? Mitchell says the game of the week would be Lamar versus Leak. Quirk says he wants a country pleasing hat. I got a bunch of them. I'm going to send a bunch to JB so he can wear some too. And you can get.
Hey, send them some to me, and we'll do some trivia or something. We'll give them away.
Give them away? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that. I'll send a box to you.
That sounds good.
All different color hats. And Quirk, if you want to if you're itching to shop for them, head on into the Country Meat Packers butcher shop right there on Highway 49 in Florence. Go in. They got all of them in there. Gator Nation, he's back. He says, it's good to hear from you, Gator Nation. He says, Matt, Kirby is not smart, okay? I've not heard him. They're overrated players or they're pathetic fans since we made them our personal, TB12 the GOAT. Yeah, Florida whipped up on Georgia. Georgia, I think it's time to start raising eyebrows on Kirby Smart in Georgia. Some things don't quite add up. Like 5-star players all over your defense. The only team in the country who's got more 4- and 5-star players on their roster defensively than Georgia is really Alabama, yet giving up points all over the place. All over the place. Alabama scored a bunch. Florida scored a bunch. It's an odd year, but I think they're raising a few eyebrows there at Georgia. Hemp Hill Park texts the show, and he says, Matt, you have to look at it from the coach's point of view as well. Talking about having an extra game and playing that extra game on December 19th if you can. He says that's 4 to 5 extra practices they'd otherwise lose out on. I'd like to think that most schools would try to make it work regardless of their current standings in the SEC, and I agree with that. I think you're right. Listen, man, I'm going to tell you this. By the time you get down to December the 19th, a month from now, and a few more opt-outs for everybody and a few more players get purged, it'd be like playing freshman games. Heck, Mississippi State, it's like playing freshman. You remember they used to have freshman football back in the 60s and 70s in colleges, John?
Yeah.
That's kind of what – State is playing so many freshmen and first-year starters, freshmen and sophomores, that I agree with Hemp Hill 100%. If you're Mike Leach, you're like, heck yeah, I don't care. Give us as many games as we can play, and we'll get as many practices as we can get. And I agree with that. Okay, I want to tell you a story real quick, JB.
I'm listening. Oh, yeah.
That sound good? So 2018, Annabeth and I are at the Masters. You've heard that. It was Sunday. All right. On Saturday, we had planned it. We walked the back 9. We wanted to see Amen Corner and just see the course. Sunday, we went back and we wanted to start the morning by seeing a couple of people. We've mentioned that. She wanted to see Freddie Couples. I wanted to see Tiger. They were in back-to-back groups. It worked out perfectly. We walked along beside them on the front 9. On hole number 1 on Sunday, JB. As I'm topping the hill there towards the green, people are walking behind the ropes. I hear a commotion. And I look over my shoulder. Annabeth looked too. And there was a young man who was laboring to walk up this hill. His legs didn't work like mine worked. He had, the arm braces. You know what I'm talking about? Like they were crutches, but they...
CP?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. They're crutches on his arm. So he had what we would term a disability. As he came up, and let me tell you, Augusta National is hilly. It will wear you out. And this he's by himself. He's a younger guy. Looks like he's probably in his 20s, but he has what would we call it, JB? Here, I'm gonna look this up. Well, I don't have the particular name for it. I'll get that later. But he obviously has a disability. But he's doing it by himself. Someone offered, to help him. He's like, no, I'm okay. I heard him say, I'm okay. And here he goes. It took every ounce of strength and energy in this kid's body to make it up the hill beside the fairway on the first hole of the golf course. Okay, a brace on each arm that goes to the ground, a crutch. One leg works better than the others. Muscles are all twisted up. Okay, and I saw him on the first hole, and I thought, he's trying to get up here so that he can watch golf today on the first green, and he'll probably sit up there all day long, right? Probably sit there by the first green all day. Well, we go on about our deal. We follow Tiger, number 2, number 3, and then we watch Freddie. And then after they are kind of getting ready to make their turn, that's when we, Annabeth and I, posted up for Sunday afternoon at number 18. We kind of staked our claim to a spot, and we stayed there to the end of the tournament. So this is hours later, JB. Hours later. I mean, a whole day later. The eventual winners are not coming up 18 yet. They were probably 3-4 holes away. But a group with Zach Johnson, former Masters champion, guy from Iowa, great guy, by the way, outspoken Christian believer in Jesus, Zach Johnson. He's coming up the fairway. And we're watching these groups come into 18, and I hear a commotion behind me. At 18 on Augusta. And I turn and look, and the crowd is parting. The people who have posted up and kind of staked their claim to spots are parting to let this young man who has the disability with his crutches, braces, get closer to the 18th green. And so he comes up. He cheers on. He said something to encourage Zach Johnson. Johnson goes up, putts out on 18, Sunday afternoon Masters. And this guy then turns and like he's going to leave. And someone offered him a chair who had a chair on 18 and said, "I've got a chair if you want to sit in the chair." And the kid says, "No, thanks. I'm just here to watch Zach." And then he started walking through the crowd, dragging one leg behind him. His muscles are all twisted up, using 2 braces. It takes every ounce of energy he could possibly muster to walk away. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. This kid with this disability and no help and a brace on each arm and one leg that he basically has to drag behind him has walked all 18 holes of this golf course, following Zach Johnson up and down these hills. And I'd been complaining, and I'd told Annabeth my feet hurt and my back was tired, told her to slow down. And it just hit me. I thought, what's my excuse? What's your excuse? Well, I left there. I had no clue who it was. I didn't know his name. I didn't get a chance to talk to him, anything. I couldn't stop thinking about it. This is 2018. I was doing a different radio show then, spring of 2018. And I couldn't help it that following Monday, so it was the very next day, I'm back on the air, and I was telling people, about the experience. And then I told the story of what I'd seen. Immediately, I start getting messages, both like publicly on Twitter, but I also started getting some messages like in an inbox and a direct message from people saying, "Hey, I know who you're talking about. I know exactly who this is." His name is DJ Gregory. He started an organization called Walking for Kids, okay? And golf had always been his passion, apparently. At some point, he was so passionate, he began going to tournaments, and people would see him with his condition walking the golf course alongside some of his favorite golfers watching him. And he turned this passion into something that he actually did to then benefit other people with a charitable foundation. It has a website, walkingforkids.org. You can read about it. He is very well known on the PGA Tour. I didn't know that at the time whatsoever. And I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I didn't know any of that, because I got the full experience of seeing it for the first time without knowing anything. It had this tremendous effect on me. I couldn't stop thinking about the whole 7 hours driving home after that. Talked about it with Annabeth and everything. Just couldn't get out of my head. So here's some of the story. Now, I'm reading some of this, but this is the guy I saw. Late 2009, DJ Gregory formed the Walking for Kids Foundation. It allows PGA Tour professionals and sports fans the opportunity to support several children's charities. Okay, he started this journey, DJ did, on the tour back in 2008. By the end of his journey in 2008, he had walked well over 988 miles, had followed 3,256 holes of golf on the PGA Tour. Players, fans, people from all over the world knew who he was, and because of what he did, realized who he was, learned his story. His story is that he fell in love with golf at the age of 12. Began watching golf on TV, went to some local tournaments with his dad, but he never really dreamed of playing professionally, becoming a ranked amateur or anything like that, or even a caddy. When he was an infant, doctors told his parents that he would probably spend his life in a wheelchair because of cerebral palsy. But it didn't keep him from trying to beat the odds. 5 surgeries, learned to walk with a cane. Golf remained his passion, and in 2008 decided to make it come true. Travel the country and walk with a different player at each event on the PGA Tour. Sports commentator Jim Nantz. Y'all know who Jim Nantz is. Hello, friends. Here's a story from USA Today. Jim Nantz said, "It's going to take an awful lot in golf to be a better story than DJ Gregory. It's the defining story of 2008. DJ is sending a message to people about determination and faith and vision and courage. I really believe we're all eyewitness to something that will be a movie someday." That was a quote from Jim Nantz. So he has this, the Walking for Kids Foundation. It raises money each year all over the PGA Tour. They know him. He holds a tournament every year. They get donations from all over the country, and all that money goes to several kids' charities that he is connected to. You can read about it, walkingforkids.org. Of all the things I've seen at the Masters, that stands out, number one. Because I didn't know the story, but just seeing him and what he was doing, and then realizing that with those canes, and he had walked 18 holes on that course that day following every shot that Zach Johnson hit, I thought to myself, you know what? I will never complain about tired feet, legs, back hurting. I'll never complain about that stuff again.
I'm headed to Dollar General to pick up another box of Kleenex. I'll be back after the break.
Yeah. You got to check it out. Walking for Kids. Stick around.
Sports are an adventure.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country Pleasin' sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan, put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasin' sausage, countrypleasin.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from them. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasin', please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, you know, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wyatt stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Hey, are you buying land or selling it? You need to let Matt Anderson with National Land Realty help you out. Matt Anderson Properties. Here's what Matt can do. If you're buying land, you can view the property without ever setting foot on it. They've got the 360-degree interactive drone touring. It's really cool. You got to check it out. And if you're selling property, Matt's going to get you consistent reports, comprehensive reports of who's looking, how many people looked at your listing. You need to let him help you. Matt Anderson Properties with National Land Realty. Call him, 601-408-5155. Hey, if you listen to the show, you know that the new third hour of the Matt Wyatt Show is brought to you by Overstreet Properties in Starkville. Here's what you need to know. If you're looking for a weekend home or condo, full-time residence, investment property, maybe just an apartment to lease, you got a student going to school at State, call Kane Overstreet at Overstreet Properties. In Starkville, it's 323-8618, or look them up online, overstreetproperties.com.
Wyatt Show on 105.9 The Zone and worldwide online at thezone1059.com.
Yeah, here's the name for you, JB. It's Abraham Answer.
Yeah, he's they're four of them tied at the top, man.
Yeah, 4 at 9 under right now, and they've all finished their rounds.
Yep.
That would be the aforementioned DJ, Dustin Johnson.
Yep.
The aforementioned, and let me get the button ready because I think it applies. The aforementioned Justin Thomas. Yeah, he went to Alabama. Cameron Smith, who shot 4 under today in his round, and then Abraham Answer, who shot 5 under. He's sitting there at 9 also. And I was telling Don via text message, think of all the headline possibilities with the name like Answer.
That's right.
Here's your answer.
And he answered DJ because DJ got it 2-10 under on the front side of his second round. He had to come out earlier today and finish his round from yesterday, and then he went straight to number 10 tee box and went par, birdie, birdie, birdie after shooting 7 under on his first round, and then got a birdie on 18 to get it back to 2 under for the day, so 9 under total.
Under. Tiger Woods is even on his round today through 3, still sitting there at 4 under. Same for Patrick Reed, former champ. Let's see, has anybody else really gone low today? Answer went 5 under. Former
Paul Casey, who was leading yesterday, is still even after 3 holes.
Through 3. Former Masters champ Danny Willett got it. He was 6 under on his round today. Tommy Fleetwood 6 under on his round.
Gotta love his hair, huh?
Yeah. And how about
Fleetwood.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And how about Rory McIlroy? So he had that trouble, on 13, and then he dunks a ball in the water on 16. All he did was go and shoot 66 today, 6 under, and he's sitting there at 3 under for the tournament.
9 strokes better than yesterday's score. And if that doesn't give amateur golfers the benefit of knowing you can play well one day and you can stink it up the next, or vice versa.
That's right.
Just don't take it too serious.
And I was actually reading this on the fly here. Day 2 of the Masters. Someone put on Twitter a wild situation playing out on number 3. Bryson DeChambeau swung away trying to reach the par 4 with his drive. He missed the fairway by a bit, not a lot. The ball seemed to land in the rough. There are no trees over there. Nobody could find the ball.
Oh, wow. So he had to go back and re-tee?
It counts as a lost ball. He had to go back to re-tee. And that would never, ever happen if there were patrons on the golf course.
You bring up a valid point.
If there were fans, everybody will find the ball for you.
Yeah, it'd have hit off there somebody's noggin, and they would have found it.
Yep. Hey,
wait, right about that?
4. Oh, here it is. Here it is, right here. It's in this
little cranium blood on it, but other than that, it's all right.
Yeah, there's some hair stuck there, and it's like you hit a deer, you get deer hair all over your car. You're like, how's this on? How did the deer get hair stuck all over my car?
Uh-huh.
If you've ever been there, though, you know it happens.
When you're calling that Farm Bureau agent.
Strange. Well, that's right. You're calling the Farm Bureau. Calling your local Farm Bureau insurance agent. Attaboy, JB. You're learning. Hey, listen. People talk about how smart these animals are. These creatures. They're smart. First of all, they don't have souls. They may be in heaven, but it ain't going to be because they have a soul. Okay? I'm saying that. But listen, here's the point. Love the animals and everything, but they're here for us, not for themselves. Okay? Take that, PETA. What was it that Chicken Hawk said that day? He said something. He had to put a dog down, and then he goes, and he said, and PETA?
Oh, yeah.
He spoke directly to them in his call. He stopped, and he went, PETA, y'all don't know where I live.
He sure did.
But anyway, the point is,
HQ wasn't too happy about that comment.
Let me tell you what, that messed her day up right there now. But anyway, people talk about how intelligent these animals are. Deer, they're so smart, right? They say if a turkey could smell like had the ability to smell, sense of smell that a deer has, you'd never get close to one. They're so smart. Yeah, are they? But if they're so smart, how come so many of them walk right out into traffic? Right out into traffic. That's how smart they are. They're not smart. They are not that smart. They're smart compared to what? Other dumb animals. Don't tell me how smart they are. And I mean, and it's kind of I'm just going to say this too, okay? I don't really have anything against it. Somebody wants to take that big buck and, you hear me, Jake? Have it mounted, take it to the taxidermist and get it mounted, hang it up on the wall, big trophy. Yeah, I killed that one back in 85. It was about 250 yards. A heck of a shot. Yeah, that's it's a humble brag.
What do you mean? It was 250 yards away before your car hit it?
Yeah, and I'm like, my thing is, well, first of all, no way to prove this, that you didn't just run over him. But secondly, it ain't like this ought to have been a huge challenge. Okay? It's a dumb animal. I'm all for eating them. Yes, deer meat, sausage, ground, backstrap, shoulder. Love it.
Backstrap wrapped with cream cheese and jalapeno inside. Smoked on the grill.
Come on. I'm all for that. But we hang them on the wall like we did something. They are dumb animals.
They're called, you know what they're called?
What?
Trophies. It's a trophy.
It's a trophy.
Buck.
Well, but what's the deal?
And they're not handing them out to the second place team either.
Am I supposed to be really impressed? Okay, you got a high-powered rifle that is accurate at 500 yards. Okay? It ain't a challenge. And you sit still, and he comes to you.
Because you got corn underneath your stand.
Not officially. Not officially. There's no.
Well, there's that white powder that they call deer cocaine underneath your stand.
No, not as far as you know. It's not down there.
It's not baiting. No,
as far as you know. And we just sit here with a rifle, okay, that is accurate way farther than I can actually see with my eyeballs. That's how powerful and accurate this rifle is. And I sit here and wait on this dumb animal to walk by. Bam! And then I put it on the wall as if I did something great.
I want to ask you a question here right before we go to you. We got about a minute.
Okay.
But I want you to tell me. I used to deer hunt. I don't deer hunt much anymore. My kids do all that. They've kind of outgrown it. So, but if I see a deer on the trace or somewhere, and I think they're getting close to the road, I will honk at them like multiple times, trying to get their attention. And 9 times out of 10, I feel like it's that Far Side commercial where the cows are standing up on their hind legs, and you got one cow looking out. Yeah. Hey, human coming! But I just wonder if they hear the horn.
They hear it. Well, they definitely hear it. It's just do they care enough to walk away from that nice green, lush ryegrass on the edge of the trace there?
I know it, man.
Or crazy. Whatever it is. That's a good point. They communicate. What's he honking at?
Stupid human.
Stupid human. Stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country Pleasing sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan. Put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasing sausage, countrypleasing.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from them. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wyatt stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine.
For the Mississippi State radio analyst. And he's on your radio
right now.
You got the Matt Wyatt Show on 105.9 The Zone and online at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you, getting ready to wrap it all up. JB, so do we have the drive coming up with
we do have
Jay?
the drive. Matter of fact, I was conversing with the drive's host during our break.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We were talking about charcuterie boards.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, we were wondering, we were trying to figure out something to eat tonight while I'm doing the board for the MRA football game. Get a charcuterie spread.
How did that come up, though?
I know. We heard a commercial.
No, I get it.
You heard a commercial.
Light bulb just came on. A little late.
Yeah.
My
That's
light
all
bulb,
right, man.
My light bulb flickers. I'm one of those light bulbs that it flickers a little while and kind of twitches, and then it's on.
So are you saying sometimes your wattage is not wadded up?
Yeah.
Or maybe your wattage is not Wyatted up.
I'm saying that I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. That's what I'm saying, JB.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all ever talking about charcuterie? How do we say it? Charcuterie?
Charcuterie.
Charcuterie?
Yeah.
What's on there? What is that? What are we talking
about? Meats and cheeses and, kind of finger foods. Things you really don't want to eat off a plate with a bunch of people due to COVID probably right now. But
hey, here's
12
a question
months
for you.
ago, we didn't care.
Here's a question for you. At what point in the history of humanity did food become not finger foods?
Well, that's a great point. It's always been finger food.
Who was the first guy to use a fork?
I would probably say chopsticks came before the fork.
Okay. Well, but see, that's even more understandable to me. We're eating with our hands. Right. Some smart guy goes, tired of getting this crap all over my hands.
In my fingernails.
What am I going to do? Let's see. Here's get a couple of sticks. And he grabs a stick in each hand. Hand, and starts poking at it, trying to lift it up. And then he realizes, if I take these two sticks, put it in the same hand, I can pinch it. Yeah. See, that makes sense.
No, it's not it's so.
Right. Right. And then at some point, food became not finger food. Charcuterie, is it charcuterie or charcuterie?
It could be like tomato, potato.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
You know what?
It is a free-for-all Friday, though.
You know what? A charcuterie board is just enough food to make me mad. That's what it is.
Just enough to get you hungry.
Just enough to make, dadgummit, where's the rest of it? Okay. Today is National Indian Pudding Day.
Not familiar with Indian pudding.
Nor is anyone else. Indian pudding is a classic New England dessert made with milk, molasses, and cornmeal. It has something to do with pilgrims and Thanksgiving. Indian pudding, yeah. So when you hear Indian pudding, it's not like it has curry. We're not talking about India. Here's what it says here. Indian pudding may not be the most elegant-looking dessert, but don't judge the book by its cover. One of the most delicious desserts around. I'll be the judge of that. They like to for it to be served warm out of the oven with vanilla ice cream on top. It's made primarily of milk, cornmeal, molasses, and spices. Add golden raisins for your own version. Well, don't be telling me what to put in my Indian pudding. How about this? It's simple to make. It's essentially a cornmeal and molasses porridge like custard. And it is baked in a water bath, similar to cheesecake, until golden and slightly caramelized on top and soft and creamy on the inside. Okay, I'm moving
What
on.
Other kind of bath is there? Water bath.
Yeah, that is
you were talking about that
question.
kind of stuff yesterday. Water bath.
That is an excellent question.
What is a water bath?
That's an excellent question. That's an excellent question. How does stuff get started? I was listening to this Irish comedian this one time, and he was doing a routine about the weird customs in America. And he touched on the birthday cake. Why that? And then he touched on other things. He started talking about, you really want to freak people out. They come knock on your door. Hey, good to see you. Come on in. We'll have a bath. He goes, there are certain things that shouldn't be mixed with other things. And he goes, why did somebody decide to mix cake and birthday? And then that led him down the whole path of, he said, why don't you give a man what he really wants for his birthday and just leave him the heck alone for a couple of hours?
Amen.
It was funny. Just leave him the heck alone for a couple of hours. Hey, look here. Judy is on the Davini Equipment phone line. Davini Equipment in Madison and in Jackson. Your Kubota dealer. Judy's husband called yesterday, and that was a really cool offer. I need to take him up on that. Judy, thanks for calling. Your husband called yesterday.
Oh. Come on, he ain't never heard you.
Oh, Gomer.
Come on, do it. You do it.
Listen, Gomer, if he don't want to.
I'll do it. Attaboy.
Here we go.
Minute, Andy. Close your eyes.
What?
Close your eyes. Listen to this. He's going to take off on Cary Grant. Go, Goob. Judy.
Judy, thanks for calling. What's up?
Oh,
Hey, sorry, I missed it.
I have a deer story.
Oh, a deer story. Okay, great. I want to hear it.
Okay. Before I worked for the State Veterans Affairs Board for 9 years, I inspected nursing homes around the state for 16 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
I would go from one city to another city every week. Do you know how many nursing homes there are in Tupelo?
In Tupelo, there's quite a few. I don't know how many, though.
Well, when I started working for the health department, there were 6
Okay. All right.
that we had to inspect. Okay, one night, and I wanted to be home as late as I could because I had a young daughter at that time.
Okay. All right.
Well, I want to stay home be home with her till she got home from school and we could go out to eat supper.
Right.
And then I would leave and drive up the Natchez Trace, Tupelo.
Mm-hmm.
I do not like the Natchez Trace. Okay?
Okay.
That night when I was driving up the Trace, unbeknownst to me, there was a little deer wanting to cross the Trace. And I was so upset that I stopped. I pulled over on the side of the Trace, and I got out of the car, and I went back to the deer, and I was in tears, and I was saying, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hit you. And I was just rubbing the deer, and he felt so soft. It must have been a baby deer. But I kept stroking his back and saying, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to hit you. He held his head up, stood up, and ran away. And I had stopped. I had stopped at the ranger station.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
I don't know how close that was to Tupelo.
Okay, so you stopped.
But I stopped there. I said, look, I accidentally hit a deer on the side of the trace a few miles back. If y'all find an injured deer, it's my fault, and I'm so sorry. I did not mean to hit the deer. So that's my deer story.
That's the story? Judy.
That's my story.
Judy, I just wonder how they looked at you when they realized you stopped just to tell them you hit a deer.
With not really amazed because they knew it was mating time, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a lot of people out on the trace at night.
Mm-hmm.
He said he will keep our eyes out for it, but it's probably gone into the woods and died by now.
He's dead. Judy, that was really sweet of you. That was really sweet of you to pet that deer back to life, though. I appreciate the phone call, okay?
You have a great weekend, and go dogs.
You have a great weekend.
Pearl.
Yeah, she's a Pearl fan. Go Pearl. They're on the road tonight. Don't be getting out, stopping, and petting half-dead deer. Okay, they can wake up on you. Have y'all seen the movie Tommy Boy? I mean, is it Tommy Boy or is it Black Sheep? Whichever one it was. And they'll come back. Hey, JB, my mother-in-law called me one day, and she said, serious as all get out, she said, Matt, I'm riding on a Natchez Trace, and I just saw a hospital bed going down the road.
Really?
I said, hold on now.
Like by itself?
I immediately start thinking, medication. What is she on? I said, a hospital bed? She's like, yes. It had wheels on the end of 2 long, poles on each corner, and it was flat, going down the Natchez Trace by itself. I said, could it be the solar car from Houston High School? She went, that's what it is. That's it. It's the solar car. That's what it is. Yeah. True story.
Oh, I love it.
She saw the solar car and thought it was a hospital bed.
Don't forget to check out that picture I sent you of the Chinese chopsticks fork.
That's the kind I need. I can't do chopsticks. That's the kind I need. That's a cheater. Yeah. Cheater sticks right there. All right, JB, have a great weekend, man.
Man, we had a good week. You have a good weekend, too, and enjoy some country pleasing.
I'm going to do it. Don't be petting half-dead deer, y'all. Just leave them. Stick around. See you.